Letting go is often described as an act of strength, something you do once you've healed, something you do when you're ready, but no one tells you how it actually feels. It doesn't feel like release. It feels like amputation, because what you're asked to let go of isn't just a person or a moment or a chapter. It's the part of yourself that was built around it, and that's why letting go hurts in a way that words don't quite reach. There's a reason letting go feels violent inside. When something matters to us long enough, it doesn't stay external. It moves in. It rearranges us. Our routines adjust around it. Our expectations grow from it. Our sense of safety learns its shape. So when it leaves, whether suddenly or slowly, it's not just gone from our life. It's gone from our internal structure. And the body notices before the mind can explain it. That hollow feeling isn't weakness. It's the nervous system saying something that was part of the architecture is missing. This is why the mind often understands before the heart does. The mind can list reasons. It can explain what happened. It can even agree that letting go is necessary. But the heart doesn't operate on conclusions. It operates on attachment. You can know something is over and still reach for it in quiet moments. You can understand why it ended and still feel disoriented without it. That gap between knowing and releasing is not failure. It's the time it takes for the inner world to catch up to reality. This is also why holding on isn't the same as refusing to move forward. We're often told that if we're still holding on, we're weak, that we're stuck, that we're resisting growth. But holding on usually means something mattered deeply enough to shape us. You don't grieve what didn't touch you. You don't struggle to release what never became part of you. So when someone can't let go, it doesn't mean they're broken. It means they were formed in relationship to something meaningful. And unforming takes time. There's another part people don't talk about. Letting go often feels like betrayal, not of the other person, but of yourself. Because who were you when that thing was present? Who did you become in its shadow? The hopeful one, the protected one, the believing one. Letting go can feel like stepping into an unfamiliar self, and unfamiliar selves are frightening, even when they're necessary. That's why advice often falls flat here. Move on. Be strong. Choose yourself. Those phrases skip over the truth that something internal has to be dismantled before anything new can be built. You can't rush reconstruction, and you can't shame someone into reconfiguring their identity. But here's the part that often gets missed. Letting go does not mean losing yourself. It means discovering what was never dependent on what you lost. Something remains, not unchanged, but intact. Up to this point, I don't know if this has been true for you, but this is what I've noticed when people try to let go too quickly. And this is where people often misunderstand what letting go actually takes from them. The love you had doesn't disappear. The depth you carried doesn't vanish. Even capacity to attach, to believe, to commit, that doesn't die. It just stops being anchored to one form. Letting go takes courage, not because it's dramatic, but because it's quiet. It requires you to sit in the in-between, between who you were and who you're becoming, between memory and possibility. And that space is uncomfortable because it's undefined. But undefined doesn't mean empty, it means unwritten. Eventually, often slowly, you realize something. What you lost shaped you, but it didn't own you. What you let go of was part of your life, but it wasn't the whole of you. And what survives is not the same version of you, but a truer one. One that knows loss, one that knows attachment, one that knows how deeply it can feel and still continue. Letting go feels like losing a part of yourself because, in a way, it is. But it's not the end of you. It's the end of a configuration, and something quieter, stronger, and more honest remains. But here is the part most people don't expect. When something quieter remains, it doesn't immediately feel like strength. It feels unfamiliar, because you are now living without the structure that once told you who you were, what you were building toward, and how to orient yourself in the world. For a while, there is no clear replacement, no new identity waiting in line, no instant clarity, just a version of you that is no longer organized around what has ended. And that can feel unsettling, not because something is missing, but because something is no longer doing the organizing for you. This is where many people misinterpret the discomfort. They assume letting go was a mistake, that they have lost direction, that they should feel more certain by now. But certainty is not the first thing that follows letting go. Stability is. A quieter kind of stability, one that doesn't rely on constant reinforcement. You begin to notice this in small ways. Your reactions slow down. Your decisions become less performative. You feel less urgency to explain yourself to or to anyone else. Not because you care less, but because your sense of self is no longer tied to maintaining a specific role, story, or attachment. This is the shift few people talk about. Letting go does not immediately give you answers. It gives you autonomy. You are no longer responding from who you were required to be. You are responding from who you are discovering yourself to be. That discovery is not dramatic. It happens quietly, in ordinary moments, in choices that feel simpler than before. You start choosing what aligns, not what preserves an old version of you. Over time, you realize something subtle. What you lost once gave shape to your life, but what remains gives it direction. And direction, unlike attachment, does not need to be held on to. It moves with you. So, yes, letting go feels like losing a part of yourself, because a part of you was built around what no longer exists, but what remains is not emptiness. It is a self that can stand without leaning, a self that can move forward without recreating the past, a self that is quieter, not because it is weaker, but because it is no longer divided. If any part of this stayed with you, don't rush to resolve it. Some truths don't arrive to be understood. They arrive to be lived through. What you lost shaped you, but it did not finish you. Something remains. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.